David Cameron stated that if he won the 2015 general election, he would hold an EU referendum due to the EU laws changing and adapting since 1975. I thought asked a handful of students from Kirklees College on their opinion about the EU referendum.
Tom Starfox.
My name is James Lawrence Chappell.
Adam.
Sophie Anna Middleton.
I'm Sherwood.
Fairly, yeah. We have a politics class in our course.
Yeah, I've always been a political person. Not as in-depth as I was when I was like 10 or 11, but around 2012 I started getting into the Scottish referendum, and that's when I realised how much I had a knack for this kind of thing, you know, finding information, understanding whether or not it was true or false, evaluating it and learning from people's perspectives as well. I started to get people's opinions throughout England on the Scottish referendum itself, because obviously I couldn't really go up there to see what it was like. I'm glad the way the vote turned out was for them staying in. So that's when it all started.
Not really, but to some extent, yeah.
I don't think I'm a political person at all, because like growing up, my parents have always been political. They've always like been, oh yeah, you should do this, you should do that, but you should research it first, and you've got to think about what you're going to vote for because it could impact your life and stuff. And I've never sort of realised the importance of it. Like, and now I'm 18, it's still the same because I've not been educated about it at all.
A bit of a political person, you could say, yeah. It's just something I really took interest into since I've started college.
The party's trying to scare us, or trying to scare the other party with facts.
The EU referendum is what they tend to say a once-in-a-lifetime vote. It's between the Leave and the Remain campaigns. Leave wants us to pull out of the European Union and secede. Remain wants us to stay in, obviously, the European Union for, well, forever, probably.
I know that some people want to stay in, some people want to stay out, and basically I don't really have an opinion on it.
I think it's in many cases, like any type of voting. I've never been taught about it, so I've never been taught about the EU referendum. Like in high school, there was always stuff about, you know, you have RS, maths, science, and all that, but you never get taught about actual life, and it never like prepares you for the stuff that you need to know, you know, to vote. It could be life changing what we're voting for, and we don't even know. All we know is from our parents, and they don't even know it properly either because they've not been educated. So.
I wouldn't like to get too much into it because you could go on for ages about it, but I do know obviously it's between if UK should be leaving Europe or not, so yeah.
Yes, I do, because it decides our future as a country and nation as a whole. Absolutely.
If you're eligible to vote, it's all about you and the people around you. This vote does decide your job, your security, and basically your future and your children's future. It's very important on how the European Union works for us and how we work for it, as well as how we work for ourselves. You have trade agreements that sometimes we can't decide that might be important to us, that we can't, you know, like for example, veto. Like for example, TTIP. I'm not sure if many people know about it, but it basically gives corporations more access to like things like the NHS to privatise it. Makes way for big organisations, obviously I know a lot of young people don't want to see. And the European Union is pushing for that kind of thing, along with the Tories, so.
Well, yeah, if you want to vote, yeah.
I think in many cases it is important to vote in, you know, in any case. Like I do vote, but I go off what my parents say, because that's all I've known, that's all I've been taught. I don't know if it's bad or good what I'm voting for at the moment. I just know I've got a letter through the post that says you have to vote. Well, you don't have to, you're not forced, but it basically makes you think, oh, I've got to do that, I've got a letter about it, it's official. It makes you think, oh.
Definitely, I do think it's important that we should.
No one really knows. I think it's a bit scary, but we could make it on our own if we actually have a leader who can lead us properly.
If we weren't part of the EU, I feel like it might be quite stale for the first few months. However, it will prosper. It will definitely begin to prosper. Once we leave, we'll be able to get free trade agreements with all of the countries outside of the European Union. Maybe not all, but a lot more than we do right now. Because in the European Union, we're only limited to trade with countries inside the EU itself. once we left, we'd be able to trade with countries like our closest allies, like, for example, the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Caribbean countries, basically the Commonwealth itself, which many people, if you ask them now, would think we'd already trade with, but we don't. We're limited to the European Union single market, which is the Eurozone basically, and it's collapsing. So if we'd have taken the euro, we probably wouldn't be in a very good state right now. You have to look at Greece and Spain to realise that.
We might have more control over our own laws and so on, but that's an important thing. But I think there's other factors as well that are also really important.
I don't know. I don't know the impact of it. I don't know what it's doing now. Is it joined? Is it not joined? I don't know what the impact is. You know, is it affecting our money? Is it affecting our jobs? I've no idea.
Supporting Britain is basically more supporting to us than it is out of the country. I think our needs do come first, in a sense. Leaving the EU, I've been more of a supporter to be leaving. I wanted to leave the EU though, because in a sense, without sounding harsh, it's more of to make Britain itself again. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If I could vote now, I definitely would vote. I'd definitely vote to leave.
I'll think about it.
I haven't voted yet, and I am 18, but I think I will vote this time because I've seen what other people's views are on it, and I think that this one could potentially be important, but I'm going to have to do a lot of research on it.
Time to have your say. Voting is on the 23rd of June.